There I am. All right, guys. Welcome to the How to Send the Perfect Tinder Opener webinar, live event, live stream, something like that. I'm Mark from Zerby, and I'm really excited to be showing you guys this presentation that we put together, this webinar. I'm going to be showing you 25 real examples of my Tinder. I'm going to be showing you a system that I use to actually send my first messages, and I'm going to show you how to get how to send your first messages and actually get responses back. So let's dive in. I'm probably not going to show myself too much, but let's begin. So first off, let me tell you what's going to happen by the end of this webinar. I want you to get 50% more responses on your first message on Tinder. And I know that sounds like a lot, but just bear with me. You'll see why. And you'll see why I'm using that number specifically too. And I'm not just talking about Tinder, but I'm talking about OkCupid. I'm talking about Coffee Meets Bagel, all of that stuff. Maybe you're struggling like I was. And here's the thing. There's a good chance you're exactly where I was just a few years ago. And not just on Tinder, but Coffee Meets Bagel and all of that stuff. You might be frustrated because no matter what you try, you always seem to be stuck. I mean, that's exactly how I felt. You might be getting few matches. And you know what? The matches that you're getting usually aren't the type of women that you want to be with. You might think to yourself, like I did, maybe I could do better. But of course, it seems like better never comes, right? You might have high points or low points, but you just kind of feel stuck. And that's exactly how I felt. And, you know, maybe you do get a few dates, and eventually I was too. But the thing is, it's not consistent, and usually the matches you get just don't turn into dates. You end up doing that thing where you talk for a really long time and it never turns into a date, or she flakes on you, or, you know, whatever happens. It just doesn't convert into a date. And, you know, frankly, it kind of feels hopeless. And when you do manage to get a date, frankly, they're not even that much fun because, well, you might not really connect, right? Kind of unfulfilling. And then, of course, to top it all off, you end up having no consistency. And when things do work, they kind of feel like luck, right? You know that feeling where it's like, all right, you meet this girl, she's really cute. You guys have a few dates, you have fun, and then you're ready to start meeting other people, and it just doesn't work. And you're like, well, what did I do right there, right? Why can't I repeat that? And that's the thing. There's absolutely no consistency with online dating. And you might want more than anything else to be the kind of guy who gets regular dates from online dating, just like me, just like I wanted. But maybe you think, all right, well, I'm not good looking enough. Maybe I'm not the kind of guy that women like. And maybe there's just not enough quality women on online dating in general. And, you know, frankly, these are the kind of questions that were popping into my head, and, you know, maybe they're popping into yours too. And, you know, what that really amounts to is self-doubt, right? And the longer you struggle with it and the more, you know, self-doubt that you get, it gets harder to climb out of that hole. And what ends up happening, at least what I found after working with so many guys, is one of two things tends to happen. One, they quit Tinder, and they might quit for a week because they're frustrated. They might quit for a month, or they just flat out they're done with online dating, right? The second thing that can happen is, and this is the worst one. This is actually far worse, I think, than quitting Tinder. And that's where you just kind of stop trying to improve because you just think, well, I'll just take what I can get, right? You never try to improve because you know it's not really worth it. It's not worth the time and energy. You don't even know if it's possible. So, you know, for me, I think settling is way worse than quitting, honestly. And I guess really they're the same thing. But here's the thing. Today, we're going to throw away all of that doubt. We're going to get rid of it. It's going to be gone. By the end of this video or webinar or whatever, you're going to know exactly how to get over this hump. And I'm going to show you how with real messages. This isn't theory. Diego is here, present. Good to see you, man. And by the way, guys, if you're watching, feel free to ask questions with anything I say. At the end, we will be doing a live Q&A. But if you guys have questions on the way, you know, why not? All right, so let's go over exactly what we're going to be covering in the next 45 minutes. What are you going to learn? So first, we're going to look at the online dating market. We're going to be talking about some background information. This will be really quick, but I really want you to understand what you're up against on Tinder. Tim is here. Hey, man. Then we'll look at what doesn't work on Tinder, and we'll do this by looking at a real Tinder profile of a girl named Emily. All right, we're going to be looking at a case study. What doesn't work on Tinder? Then we're going to get in the science behind effective Tinder messages. This is actually my favorite part. We're going to be looking at facts here, not opinions. All right, Casper, it's, what is it, 2:30 a.m. his time. Psyched for this. Awesome, dude. Thanks for being here. I know it's really, really late for you, but I appreciate it. And I think you're really going to like it too. It's going to be worth your time. Then we're going to be looking at the Tinder Wingman 2.0 system. We're going to be laying the groundwork with this webinar, and then I'll tell you about Tinder Wingman. And that's where you're really going to want to pay close attention. After that, we're going to be looking at 24 real examples of messages that were sent using the Tinder Wingman system and break down exactly how and why they worked. And then we'll do a live Q&A at the end, followed by the giveaway for the GoPro. I'm so happy you made it to the live this time. It's worth it. Going ham, says John. Cool. All right, so I think it's important that you guys know who I am before we dive into all of this stuff. So yeah, my name's Mark, and before starting Zerby, I worked at one of the world's largest and most successful dating companies, Simple Pickup. They have 2.7 or 8 million subscribers on YouTube, and I was a partner at Willie Beck Dating. You guys might know Willie Beck. You can kind of see him there on the left of the screen. I've helped guys from all over the world conquer their dating life, and that's not exaggeration. All right, online dating. Let's dive into the actual meat of the matter, what Tinder really looks like. So as of right now, there are a lot of people on Tinder. There is many active users, there's many people who are actively using, tongue twister. There are as many people actively using Tinder as the combined population of 6 New York cities, not just Manhattan, but all of it. That's a lot. Rodrigo is here, chiming in for a bit to hear. Then he has an exam. Good luck with your exam, man. Anyway, every day there are 26 million matches. So if you think about those 6 New York cities, there are enough matches that 3 of those cities will get a match every single day. All right, so that's a lot of people getting matches. And then there are 1.7 billion swipes every day, which is approximately 1/4 of the world's population. And all these statistics, by the way, from last year. So this has probably grown a little bit since then. So what does that all mean? What is the point of me telling you all this? Well, basically, it means that you can't fail. Statistically speaking, if you're in the game, you're eventually going to score. I don't care how bad your profile is. I don't care how bad your messages are. If you are willing to sit through 1.7 billion swipes, at some point you're going to find someone to match with, right? It just might take a while. It would take almost 15,000 hours or 3 years straight of 24/7 swiping to get through all of the female users only, right? So you might not have 3 years, 24 hours a day to swipe. So what we're going to do in this webinar is drastically reduce that number. So the bare minimum to get matches, here's what you need. 1, you need a profile photo. And I'm just going to read you a quick little excerpt, and you could probably see it on the screen too. With your profile photo, girls want to look you in your eyes. Posting photos of a gorilla might be funny to you, but does she really want to kiss that animal? And those selfies without the shirt, are they really your best photo? Blah, blah, blah. We already know this stuff. And you did the 5-day challenge. You are caught up already on what makes a good profile photo. So obviously you need a good profile photo and you need a bio. So the VP at Tinder for global communications and branding said, girls are 99% less likely to swipe right on you if you aren't willing to divulge some basic information about yourself. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Maybe she means respond to your message because usually girls will match with you based on your profile photo alone and then decide if they want to talk with you based on your bio after that. But yeah, you get the point. You need those 2 things. So obviously that's just the start. And frankly, getting a match is the easy part. And that's kind of the problem with all this. The match is the easy part. This is a profile of a girl named Emily, and we're going to be looking at the kind of matches that a typical girl gets in a typical day. Now, this is only 50 matches. She only swiped 50 times after deleting her profile. So, of course, we're not looking at a scientific number here. But this should give you a pretty good idea of what a typical girl goes through on Tinder. And I think if you've ever tried making a fake account, that's a girl just to see what happens, or if you have friends, you know exactly what I'm about to say. So let's check it out. Fingers and toes crossed. Yeah, me too, man. I'm here to the end. Well, me too. So that makes two of us. So anyway, let's look at the responses that Emily got after just 50 swipes. So first off, things are not looking good. If we look at some of the messages, hey, what's going on? What's up? Hi. What's up, hun? Up late on a school night, I see. Come on, guys. I'm not going to go through every page of responses, but needless to say, she got a lot of responses. So let's look at the results from this experiment. Emily in total got 26 matches out of 50 swipes. So a little bit over 50%. 1 out of 2 guys swiped on her, which I don't understand, honestly, because she's quite attractive. And I think most people would swipe on her, but I guess 50% of guys chose not to. Anyway, 50% of the guys that swiped with her actually sent her a message. Now, this actually leads us to, there we go, 50% matched with her. Now, let's look at the kind of matches that she got. But before that, let me just say we have a quick takeaway. Takeaway number 1 is be in that 50% that actually messaged her. You don't have a chance if you don't actually try. So already, if you message, you're already in not a minority, but you're already in the 50%, the half that actually takes the initiative to message her. So do that. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't have to say this, but, come on. All right. Now, here's where things got interesting. 86% of the messages she got were some mix of hey, hi, or what's up. Those stats, not good. Things are not looking good for Emily. You can start to understand why girls don't respond to first messages on Tinder and why girls on Tinder are so standoffish. Think about it. If you were getting match after match after match of people just saying hi, you would start to feel like that too. So takeaway number 2, don't be in that 80% that sends bad opening messages. 86% are sending bad opening messages. And by the way, the other 14% are not sending good ones. They're just sending ones that aren't hi, hey, or what's up. Okay, guys? So really, it's like 99% are sending bad messages. Now, actually, 0 sent good messages. 0% of all those messages were decent at all. They were not attention grabbing in any way. 0%. Joanne says, hi, hi. All right. So 0% of the messages out of 50 were attention grabbing, meaning they were messages that were interesting or personal to her. They were just generic. Takeaway number 3. This is obvious. Don't do what everyone else is doing. We're talking about everyone else. Yeah. So anyway, finally, and most importantly, none of those messages had any form of personalization. They were all copied and pasted. And if they weren't copied and pasted, they were just, generic hi messages. Casper's back. Good to see you, man. So here we have the takeaways. Again, 50% people, 50% of those 50 swipes matched with her. 86% were lines like hey, hi, or sup. 0% were attention grabbing, and 0% had any personalization at all. Just copy pasted or generic bullshit. Takeaway number 4, be personalized. It's a big one. All right. So We saw what the online dating market's like. We saw a case study of a typical girl who uses Tinder. Now let's look at the science behind the message. What can we do to improve our success based on actual data, not based on opinion? Let's look at some data taken from Christian Rudder. In case you don't know, he's the founder of OkCupid, and we're going to see what actually increases your response rate. So, bad English. Messages that on average use your, ya, etc., have up to a 25% lower chance to get a response. 25% lower chance response for that. Even typing can't without an apostrophe as opposed to spelling it the correct way will affect you. How many of your messages right now can you think of that have similar problems where you're using acronyms like you are, ya, really with one L, love, L-U-V, what, W-A-T. I see this stuff all the time, guys. All the time I see this stuff, all right? So we can put together a list of 5 rules for first messages. First, use proper English. Now we're going to talk about complimenting her. Now this is something that I've seen in our group often. In fact, this is something that I've seen members of Tinder Wingman do the wrong way. All right, so let's correct that. So complimenting her. It turns out that complimenting her actually helps. You can see that you get up to a 10% increase response rate by complimenting her. But here's the catch, guys, and this is really important, all right? The moment that you compliment her based on her looks, it doesn't just not help, it cripples you. Calling a girl sexy means that you'll get a 40% less response than complimenting something personal to the girl. Like saying, oh, that's fascinating, or it's awesome that you like this. We now have our second rule, be personal about something other than her looks, all right? Now, this is quite simple and logical because girls get complimented on their looks all the time. So the second you do that, you're lumping yourself in all of those other guys that do the exact same thing. And we're trying not to be like every other guy, all right? So rule number 2, be personal, not about her looks. Let's talk about common interests, things that you both share. Now, this is where things get insane. And Joanne says, Tindering based on data, guys. Thanks, Joanne. And by the way, guys, if you can like this post, if you're watching it live, it definitely helps put it out in front of more people that are watching. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them. I'll do a shout out. I'll put it on the screen, whatever. All right, now here's where things get absolutely mental, as my British friends would say. All right. By being specific to something let me restart. By being specific to something we see in our profile, we can boost our results almost 45% up from 30. That's huge. It can be anything you notice specifically about her. This is really radical, all right? This is even more proof that copy-pasted lines do not work. All right, guys? Very important. Now, the thing is, they do work in the sense where if you send out hundreds of them, you're going to get people that respond. But they don't work in the sense of getting you quality people, usually. That's a generalization. But more importantly, it doesn't work in the sense of getting frequent, consistent matches without putting a lot of effort in. And a lot of people try to trick you, right? You go online and type in Tinder opener, right? Or copy-pasted pickup lines, see what happens, all right? Christian Rudder, these sources are legit. If you're specific to her, you're going to be getting up to a 45% higher chance to get a response. That's massive. That's absolutely massive. So there it is. Be specific. All right, let's move on. Authenticity. This has huge implications. Women respond most to the guys who are the most genuine, the guys who really want to get to know her, not the guys who are sending the best copy-pasted lines, not the guys who have the most in common with her, not the guys who have the most in common with her, and not even the guys who are the most witty, not the guys with the best compliment, not the best guys with anything. Authenticity reigns king. How do you show authenticity? You notice things about her. In your profile, you mentioned that you like blank. Can you tell me more about that? You have good taste. I noticed that blank about you. You see, it's showing her that you're actually interested in her as a human being. If you do this one thing, you will get more responses back than anything else. Up to 50% higher chance to get a response rate back. 50%, guys. So the 5 rules of Tinder. Proper English, be specific, be personal, not about her looks, and authenticity reigns king. All right? So I know we skipped one. Don't worry, we'll come back to it. But let's just cover what we learned so far. We now have 4 rules to send messages from real data. By sending the wrong message, your first message can hit as low as a 0 to 5% response rate back. That's terrible. And that's what most people have. That's what the majority of people have. By sending the right messages, you can fire up by 50% whatever you're at now. And those things have nothing to do with your height, with your ethnicity, your hobbies, or looks. It's about how you present yourself and how much authenticity you project. All right, big warning sign. It's kind of cheesy, but I left out rule 5. This is the secret sauce that ties everything together, and we'll get to it later. First, I want to cover the Tinder Wingman opener system. Man, that's a little bit too long, guys. I need to change that. But the Tinder Wingman opener system. And don't worry, there's no cliffhangers here. I will get back to rule 5. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. All right, so the Tinder Wingman opener system, setting the perfect opening message. So at this point, we've already looked at, we have the foundations to build this. So we've looked at the data. We've seen case studies. We know how this all works. So this system is going to work with any girl you match with on Tinder, even the ones that have the boring selfie profiles. You know what I'm talking about. Following the system will give you the biggest potential returns. And of course, you can break rules, but you first want to master the system. So I'm going to show you the system, and then I'll show you examples of it. So step 1 is to hook. This is where you pick out one thing from her profile or photos. All right. It can be anything. It literally doesn't matter how small it is. And that's what I really want to touch upon, you guys. People think that this needs to be some really big thing. No, you can be commenting on a button on her shirt. Like, it doesn't matter. It just has to be something that is actually specific to her. It doesn't matter how small or big. Anything in her bio or photos. All right. So you pick one thing. That's your hook. Line is where you take the hook and make a line from it. Again, it doesn't matter how small the hook is. It doesn't matter. Line is literally just that, a line. It could be a pun, could be a joke, could be, hey, I noticed blank about your blank, right? Very simple. Don't worry, we're going to be looking at 24 real examples of this. And finally, we have reeling. This is where you connect her to you. Think of it like you're pulling her into your world. And again, I'll get to that. So all in all, we have hook, line, and reel. Did you write these down? Of course, this has no value if I don't show you how it's used with real examples, and I know that's what you guys want. So let's take a look at some. All right. So in this, I was referencing how cinematic her photos were when I saw her profile. Very cinematic photos. So my hook, line, reel, my hook was just seeing really cinematic photos. So she actually opened me first. She messaged me, hi. And I responded, hey, her name, you're so cinematic. And she says, what do you mean? But I think you're handsome. Okay. You get amazing responses back when you point out something specific to her. Really. And the reason she messaged me first is because my profile is set up really well, which hopefully yours is now too after the 5-day challenge. Next, she mentioned that she loves compliments and has a good taste in wine in her profile. So my message was, and if I compliment your taste in wine, then I'm doing real well. She says, ha, ha, ha. Yes. I say, you mentioned that you love cooking. What celebrity chef is your spirit animal? Right? So I'm giving a double reference. I have 2 hooks there. I'm commenting on her wine taste. All right. And the fact that she says she loves compliments. See how that works? You can do 2 hooks. Moving on to the next. And by the way, Joanne wants to point out that at the end of the live stream, we're going to be giving away a GoPro. So make sure you stay until the end. It's really important. All right. So here we have another one. Her bio said, no one-night stands, I have enough furniture. So I simply referenced that in my opening line. My hook was her bio. Well, good news then, I'm a lazy boy. Why is that good news? I also like tea. I'm like an old lady with all the tea that I have. And then I said, then we'll get oolong. So there you see the line that I used, I'm a lazy boy. That doesn't even make sense. All right, guys, that doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't need to because it's personal to her. And then I have a pun that's related to tea. And she's talking about tea because my bio talks about tea and I have a tea photo in one of my photos. So again, your profile makes things easy for you. If you have a good profile, things are easy. This girl has a puppy in one of her photos, so I play off that. I want to get to know you just so I'm able to play with your puppy. Elephant in the room. Nice to meet you, by the way. My name is Mark. Hey, how are you? All right, so here, most guys would see a puppy in her profile and say, oh, well, I can't talk about that. Every guy is messaging her about her puppy. If she's making it easy for you by showing a puppy, then take it. Make it easy for yourself. Because remember, most guys aren't messaging her about the puppy. Most guys are messaging her, hey, hi, what's up? So this girl mentioned that she loves spicy food. Well, I do too. I love Sichuan cuisine. All right, guys. So I said, it's all about that Sichuan. She says, preach. Where are you traveling to, blank? Wherever life takes me. Yourself, what's your journey? So again, very, very simple, very logical, and it gets a response back. Pun based off her first message to me. So she said, why, hello there. I'm also a fan of tea and art history. And I said, then it sounds like we'll get oolong. So that's a pun based on her first line. All right. So your hook can even be the first line that she sends you. It can be anything. But you see how this works, guys? We're taking the science of what makes a first message work, and we're just capitalizing on it. Her bio said, I won't share my pizza with you. So I said, but sharing is caring. I'm heartless when it comes to pizza and blankets. And I said, even for like vegan pizza? She says, even for vegan pizza. So her profile, I don't know, I think it talked about food or something. So in this case, I used a GIF. I said, we live in Flavortown. And I put Guy Fieri. So you can use GIFs. But the idea is your GIF isn't just a random GIF of a bear waving and saying hi, right? You see that before? Like you send a girl a GIF message and it's like a bear waving. That doesn't make sense because it's not personal to her. You can use GIFs, but they should be related specifically to her. It should be a hook. You're using a GIF in a creative way. So this girl had photos of her at a Renaissance fair. I said, I want things to work out between us because I've never been to a Ren fair and I know you could be my in. I'm amazed and a bit dismayed that you've never been. We should definitely change that. I know a guy. So remember when I mentioned, John says, take her to Flavortown. So, I talked about reeling, but I never really explained what that was. Reeling is when you try to relate her to you. All right. So in this case, the reel is, it's not just like, oh, it's cool that you like Renaissance fairs. Saying, hey, I want things to work out between us. There's that reel. It's between us because you could be my into the Renaissance fair. I'm making it about us. In fact, every example, more or less, I've been doing that. It's not just a random pun, generally speaking, related to a profile. It's trying to take something in her profile and again, relate it to me and her because you want her to think about you two being together, all right? Makes sense, right? So this girl's profile mentioned Neverland, and I played off of that. I said, I hope you don't mean Neverland Ranch, all right? One of her photos had a cardboard cutout of Obama. I want to get to know you just so I can meet Obama. So there you go. That's another reel. And this is very simple. right? I see something in her profile. I make a joke about it and relate it to both of us. So this girl messaged me about tea. And you could see I said, looks like we're going to get oolong. So I've used that before. So if the context is right for sending a message, you can send the message again. Now, if you have a really good bio and a really good profile, what you're going to find is that girls will start messaging you based on your bio, based on something in there. And for me, it happens to be tea. So I have a few, I have a few, I guess you'd call them canned lines, copy pasted lines for when people message me about something in my bio. And that's okay, because that's different than using copy pasted lines that aren't relevant to what's happening. All right. So this girl's bio mentioned that she was looking for guys with a good vibe. So I sent her a GIF of a vibrating fish. Like this guy, it was a GIF of this dude holding a fish and it was like really vibrating. And I said, this is my vibe. One of her photos had a Trump mask in it. So I said, FYI, I have a Trump mask with me that I'm wearing on our first date. And she said, I'll wear Hillary. So I said, our sex is going to be really weird. Okay. So this is actually quite funny. What is this? We have the hook. The hook is her wearing the Trump mask, or her wearing the Trump mask in her profile. Then the line is, well, here's our date. I'm going to wear the Trump mask, right? Then the reel is on our first date. Think about that, right? Now, here's the other thing. I'm making this kind of flirty and kind of sexy without it being creepy. And the way that I do that is by disarming it with humor. Okay? So I said, our sex is going to be really weird. Well, that's funny. To me, that's hilarious. That shows my sense of humor. That shows my personality. And it suggests that maybe we'll have sex, but not in a creepy way. Okay? So she messaged me and says, I'm a fan of repetitive tea as well. How's your night going? I said, thanks. Obviously, we're going to get oolong. So find jokes that work for your profile. If you have something in your profile that people comment on, find little puns and jokes that work for it. Diego says, I noticed you don't ask any questions on your opener. Any rule for that? Actually, this one I kind of do. There's no rule for it. It's just generally speaking, if you can make a quick, like easy to digest, an easy to digest line, I found it can be more successful than asking a question, but not always. There's really no rule for that. I mean, what matters is that it's personal and authentic. So if you're going to ask her a question, that's fine, but just make sure it's a question that you actually give a shit about. Like, you shouldn't ask a question to her that you really don't care the answer. And be really real about that. Like, you probably don't care that she grew up in Northwest Texas, unless you're from that area. Okay? So you wouldn't say, oh, I noticed that you're from Northwest Texas. How was that? No, that doesn't work. But if you were from there, you could say, oh, I grew up there too. Have you ever been to Papa John's Steakhouse? All right. That's fine. So this girl messaged me, and you can tell she's already interested. Says, whoa, a tea drinker? Let's drink tea. Like, you can tell she's interested in me because she's putting so much emphasis on meeting up. So in my first message here, I'm actually asking a question. Because I can tell she's interested in me so much already from just one or two lines, I already know that I could start thinking about asking her out on a date. So that's what I do. Said, oh, wow, awesome. I'd love to. Do you know any good tea houses around here? And she says, I call my home a tea house. All right. So you could see where this is going. This is one of those cases where your bio and profile and pictures work and she really likes you, and you can set up a date for the same day within one, maybe two lines. So this girl, one of her photos had a little Corona branded sombrero. So I said, I hope you still have your Corona sombrero. Now that line really sucks, right? There's nothing interesting or creative about that. Just stupid. But why does it work? Well, it works because it's personal to her. Right? That's what matters. And that's why I was saying, and I've said before, you don't need to worry if your line is amazing or really good or whatever. You don't have to worry about that. All you need to worry about is that it's authentic and personal. Okay? That's what's important. Let's move on to the next. Felix is asking, so what happened with the rest of the tea conversation? So all of these conversations and more, I actually have the full Tinder breakdown where I talk through and show you the entire thing from start to end and explain why she said what she said and why what I said line by line. And that's part of Tinder Wingman, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, good question. So this girl's age was listed at 89, so I ran with it. I said, I have a thing for 89-year-olds. She says, what is it? Do you play guitar? I said, you're 89 and I swiped right on you. So apparently I noodle around on a guitar a bit. It's mostly just to show off my Tinder picture. Yeah, age is just a number. So you can see this girl had nothing interesting about her, but her age was set at 89. Most guys would get frustrated. It's like, why are you putting up like a fake age? Like, ugh. Well, use it to your advantage. You can use anything to your advantage. All right. This girl's profile mentioned that she will regret using Tinder. And again, she's giving me the line. She's giving me the material. I don't need to be creative. I can just take what she gives me. So I run with it. Let's get our mutual regret started. Hi, I'm Mark. And obviously she enjoyed that, right? This girl, one of her photos had a fake mustache. Again, easy reference. You don't need to make this hard on yourself. If you're doing this right, if you really learn the system, okay, guys, you're going to find that it's actually easier to come up with witty, personalized, and authentic lines than it is to copy paste stuff. It's that quick. You look at a profile and instantly you know exactly what to say. You don't need to think, oh, what copy pasted line should I Google? Like, it's so easy. So yeah, easy reference here. Bonus points for girls with beards for me. What girls with beards? Haha. Joking aside, I hope not you. Haha. Haha. Maybe yes. All right. So very simple, right? This girl had a photo of her jumping in midair. All right, guys. You've seen that before. Pictures of girls midair jump, right? I said, it looks like you're floating in your last picture. Ha ha ha. I wish I can. If you could have any superpower, would it be floating? All right. So what I want to point out here is that line again seems really stupid, right? It's not clever. It's not witty. It's not great. But what matters is that it's personalized and authentic. It looks like you're floating in your last picture. How bad of a line is that? But yet I'm getting responses. And guys that think, you know, they need to be sending copy pasted lines or sending like weirdly, overly sexual stuff, or even worse, guys that think that they're nice guys that end up sending like a paragraph of text being like, hey, it's really cool to meet you. Like, no, man, I'm lazy. Okay. You want to be lazy too. Make it easy, 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 easy. So easy that guys get angry at you because they don't understand why lines like this get responses. Like there's guys out there that see my stuff and get angry because they're sending messages that don't get responses that are so much more witty or clever or intelligent. And I'm sending shit like this and getting responses back of girls that are really down to meet me, okay? I'm a 5'6" overweight guy from New Jersey. Why am I doing better than bodybuilders out in LA? Well, there's a reason. And now you guys know the secret, all right? And then here's the best part about this line is it transitions into a super fun topic, superpowers, right? So, all right, my line wasn't the most amazing, but it opens the door to a conversation. So I just used a hook on my own hook, right, guys? By the way, if you are watching live, please, we only have like 4 likes on the post, I think. So if you could like it, I'd really appreciate it. It does help put this out in front of more people watching. And if you guys have any questions or even just comments or want to shout out, please. I don't feel so lonely when you guys are doing that. Although I know that you're probably really interested in what I'm talking about, so you probably want to focus. I get it. All right, so this is one of those ones that people hate. It's the girls who have the dreaded empty bio or boring selfies. All right, what do you do? Actually, on the Zerby website, this is our most read blog post: how to handle girls with boring or empty bios and boring selfies. So here's what you do. You either be personal about yourself or ask a deeper question. And Diego, right here, this is where I was talking about before, asking questions. All right, you can. So in this case, I say, blank, where'd you go that had the most impact on you? Now notice that that's different than saying, where have you traveled? It's a deeper question. She said, places I visited. I said, your favorite one. Very different, very difficult to choose. Each place has its own charm. Now that's a shitty answer, right? If I ask you, where's the place that had the most impact on you, and you said, oh, it's hard to choose, you would call me, you would say to me, Mark, come on, dude, you can do better than that. That's exactly what I do for her. I'm not going to let her get away with a bad line like that. I said, I don't buy it. That's a lazy answer. For everyone, there's that one place that just changes their worldview. Now that does a few things. You're sending a very strong message. First off, it's not mean, right? You're not doing it aggressively or passive aggressively, but this is a conversation and she's going to have to put into it too, especially because her bio has nothing, right? So think about it. You're both sitting down at a table and you show up with a big tray of food. It's like a potluck and she comes with nothing. It's like, well, okay, I'll give you some food, but you're going to have to make up for it. You're going to have to put a little more effort in to this conversation. So make her. That's really important. And what most guys will do is they'll let a girl run over them. They won't say something like, I don't buy it. That's a lazy answer. They'll just say, oh, well, I've been here. No, give me a better answer than that. All right. Referencing how we're both located, where we're located now is worse than California. So she had something about not being in California. And I messaged her and said, I'm sorry you're here from Cali, but I like that your team mascot is the Slugs. So 2 hooks. 1, that her team mascot in college was called the Slugs, which is amazing. And 2, that she was from Cali. All right, this girl mentioned, we're almost done, guys. This is actually the last one. It's starting to get repetitive, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. She mentioned how good brunch is in her profile. And I said, a lover of brunch is a win in my book. She said, brunch is food of the gods. And I said, meal of the gods, the food of the god is Eggs Benedict. If you don't agree, unmatch me ASAP. I actually like that. I think that's a funny way to kind of perk up a conversation where you say something like, you know, if you don't like blank, unmatch me ASAP. Like that's kind of fun. It shows that you're willing to take a risk, but sometimes they actually will unmatch you. So keep that in mind. All right. 5th rule. We talked about the 4 rules. This is number 5, maybe the most important. And before we get into the live Q&A, there's something important to bring up. When we went over the science of messages, I mentioned the 5th rule, obviously. This is the secret ingredient that needs to be in place for everything else to work. Okay. So if you have a pen, get it out. You're going to want to write this down. All right. The secret ingredient is reference experience. All right. This is the most important aspect. Following our system will work, as you saw firsthand. And as you do it more and more over time, you're going to get more and more results. This is how you will know which hook will be the most effective, because you can pick anything. And when you just start, you can, but you want to get better at it and you want to know what the right hook is. This is how you will intuitively know what line she will respond to the most. And this is how you will know how hard to reel in. But what I mean by that is, by how hard to reel in, is it the right time to ask her out now? Should I be flirty? Should I get a little sexy? Right? That's what you will learn through reference experience. I think a lot of you guys already know this. You already know this, right? It's not a secret necessarily that reference experience is what is going to, be the determining factor of if you're getting 2 dates a week or whatever. I mean, it's kind of obvious. The more you do something, the better you get at it, like any other skill. But you need to do it with the right form. It's like working out. You can work out all day long, but if you don't have the right form, you're not going to get progress. So Tinder's the same way. You can use it and practice it and message hundreds of women, but if you're not changing anything, if you're not sending the right kind of stuff, if you're not learning what actually does work so you can work on that, what does work, it's not going to work in the long run for you. But there are 2 big problems with reference experience. This is kind of what makes everything complicated. One, like any other skill, it takes years of failure to build. Now, the reason that's a problem is because usually as a young 20s person, your dating life might not last for years. You might only have 1 or 2 years of fun left, right? Presumably, you're going to use Tinder to find a person where you don't need to date other people anymore, right? So you might not have years to spend. And on top of that, think about all the fun you could be having in the meantime if you had this shit locked down, which again, it's not that there's anything wrong with you. 99.9999% of guys don't. And in fact, if you look at the statistics, I think it's like, and I don't want to quote this because I don't know it exactly, but I know you've all heard it. It's like 85%, or the top 15% of guys gets 85% of the matches. It's something like that. And 2, and here's the really big problem. It gets harder to improve the better you get. The more results you get, the curve gets more steep. It gets harder to get more results, all right? So don't be me. Frankly, you don't have to wait years to start seeing huge results. I'm now 30. I turned 30 last month. I wish I had this in my 20s. I didn't. I did not have this when I was 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. All right? I didn't. And if you're my age, you don't want to wait any longer. All right? When you do get those results, finally, I don't want you to fall in the trap of hitting complacency or hitting plateaus, which is the other thing. If you want 2 dates a week on Tinder, you might not want that. You might want more or less, I don't know. But if you want that, and you're only getting 1 a week, like, why settle for that? I've been doing it, failing and learning from it. Yeah, man, totally understand. John says, happy birthday, fam. Appreciate it, John. Tim says, you don't look 30 at all. I know. I look very young. But I am. I'm 30. I turned 30. Big 3-0. So yeah, you don't have to do what I did, which is struggle for a long time. There's another way to get reference experience without going through years of failure like I did. And this is where I announce our big thing. That's why we made Tinder Wingman. Basically, we're able to give you the reference experience from a team of dating coaches. You know me. You've probably seen Cole in the group, Face, Julius, all these guys, all these coaches. Basically, you get all of our reference experience so you can cut down dramatically on the time you need to become seasoned. And once you do, you'll be part of a mastermind of guys who excel with online dating, so you always stay sharp. Now, before I tell you what's actually inside Tinder Wingman, there's something you need to know first. Tinder Wingman closes November 1st. I know it says 10:30, but it closes 11:01. So Tinder Wingman closes on midnight, or 11:59, I guess, on November 1st. Just to let you know, it's been 11 months since we opened Tinder Wingman last. So we don't open it very often. And there's reasons for that, and I'll tell you why later. So what is in Tinder Wingman 2.0? All right. So the first thing, and this is the most important, and I think Diego was asking about what happened in the rest of the tea conversation. So basically, every single week for 52 weeks, you get a new video breakdown. These video breakdowns, I basically take you through my full Tinder conversations, or Cole's or Theis or Julius, Tinder conversations from start to end. I literally read every single line and explain exactly what I'm saying. I explain why it works. I explain exactly what she says and why she says what she says. You'll become the texting expert. The best part is this isn't just about Tinder. This is also for OkCupid, Field, Bumble, and even Instagram DMs. All right. That's what I'm talking about with reference experience. You're going to see our full Tinder conversations broken down. We'll break down the conversations line by line, blah, blah, blah. You know that. We have a core principle in each breakdown, so you know how to incorporate it into your own texting or Tinder. And you're going to get unshakable confidence in Tinder, OkCupid, Field, which is that threesome app. We have breakdowns from that. Badoo, Coffee Meets Bagel, texting. The same principles do apply to everything, although different platforms, there's different ways you want to approach it, right? What you're going to learn. In our breakdown videos, you'll see how we get girls who have empty, boring profiles on a date the same night that we match. You'll see how we get girls on dates who flaked on us for months in a row. Again, like these are real things, and we show you from start to end how we made this happen so you can make it happen too. We arrange dates right from Tinder and skip boring texting. I know a lot of guys don't like texting. Me neither. Go from a Tinder opener and a few lines to setting up a date and then meeting her there. No numbers exchanged at all. You're going to find out, most importantly, all right, how we average and below average looking guys get dates with attractive women on Tinder basically as much as we want. Basically as much time as we have to give. And here's the best part of it. The best part of the best part. You'll be able to replicate our process without coming across weird or disingenuine because we will never feed you lines or give you canned material. You're going to find out how to message like us, not because you take our lines, but you understand our logic of messaging because I literally explain it to you. Just like this, but with a Tinder conversation, all right? Now, breakdowns are just the start, and this is what I really love. And I think Joseph is watching live. He's actually one of our Tinder Wingman members, and he knows about talking to us. So the best part about all this is, let's say you're watching these breakdown videos and you see us say something and you're like, why is he saying that? Well, if you're curious why we said something, if you wonder why we chose that moment to ask her out, if you wonder what happened out on the date itself, well, you can just ask us. Because when you're in Tinder Wingman, you have access to all of the experts. You get into a group chat where me, Theis, Cole, Julius, Joanne, all of us are. Maybe you're on a conversation. Maybe you're stuck and you don't know what to say next talking to a girl. Send me the screenshot. I will tell you right then and there. I'll give you advice on what to do next. You also will get the content library. And, you know, honestly, guys, I really do hope you found this helpful. But of course, we only covered the opening line. In our content library, we cover everything else, including online dating mastery course. We have an approaching mastery course, so you can learn exactly how to approach women you're interested in real life rather than just on Tinder. You'll also get access to all of our previous webinars and a Q&A archive. Now, to be honest, guys, originally this was going to be a separate product that we sold, this online dating mastery course. We decided to just put it as part of Tinder Wingman and make it free. But originally we're going to charge for this. Now it's just part of Tinder Wingman free. Mastermind group. As soon as you become a member, you're going to join our mastermind group. You'll be connected with all the other Tinder Wingman members so you can see their strategies firsthand and share your own. This is how you'll keep sharp, experiment with new strategies, and get really good really quick. Oops. All right. Talk with the coaches. Ever wish you can just get help on the spot with coaches at Zerby? Watch one of our breakdowns, have a question, want an expert opinion rather than just from, a random dude online, like on our Facebook group. That's exactly what you get with Tinder Wingman. No matter what you need help with, you can tag me or any Zerby coach in the mastermind group and get help. So I love that. Like, I wish when I was trying to learn this stuff, like if there was someone who's really good at Tinder, if I could just send them a screenshot of the conversation that I was having trouble with, like the girl maybe wasn't interested, or she was giving me boring answers, or she just like wouldn't respond to me when I asked her out on the date. If I could just send that to someone who knew what was going wrong and have them give me no bullshit feedback so I can actually fix it, and that'd be amazing. Well, that's what you get here. So here's the thing. Who is Tinder Wingman for? Well, to be honest, it's not for most guys, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Most guys don't like our product, and that's how I want to keep it. Most guys want the easy way out with scripted lines. They want me to tell them exactly what to say, copy and paste it, done. Most guys don't want to put any work in, so there's no lasting changes. They're just dependent on tutorial videos, copy-pasted lines, routines. And most guys, like kind of I said before, want us to feed them lines. So, they'll get the date, but they don't actually know what the hell they're doing. So as soon as we're gone, they can't do anything. That's not for us, frankly. That's not how we operate, and we're not shy about firing clients. Yes, we do that. We tell clients we don't want to work with you anymore. Especially, and here's why, especially because we only let in a small number of new members in. So, we're trying to foster a real community here, and we're not going to put that at risk for the money of one person signing up. It's just not going to happen. So, who is Tinder Wingman for? These are small clips from 3 guys out of hundreds that we've helped. I'm happy to say that their results aren't unique. When you go into our websites, you'll see plenty more like it in full. And maybe after this webinar, like these guys, you'll see the same success too. So Dan, good friend of mine, Dan up in New York, the quality of my matches on Tinder has gone up significantly ever since I tried a few tips out. In fact, I just started seeing a beautiful college girl regularly. Malama said texting was my weak point, and thanks to Tinder Wingman, I started getting more women invested through my texting. This means I was going on more dates. Arafat, he is a longtime member of Tinder Wingman who's been with us since the beginning when we actually launched Tinder Wingman 2 years ago, although now we're Tinder Wingman 2.0, new version. But my success with women dramatically increased when I started learning from a mentor and the awesome Tinder Wingman community. I was learning exactly what to do and what to fix without sacrificing what makes me me. By the way, Tim is asking how many members there are right now. I think we're at 50 members. We hover around 50. All right. Next steps. What are the next steps for you? All right. Oh, so we have some questions. All right, Matthew, I know you need some questions. I will respond to the questions right after this at the end during the open Q&A. I'm going to get to every question that comes up. So you can post it now or you can wait until the Q&A, but I'll get to all the questions that we have then. All right, so I have a question for you. All right, but before I ask it, in 2 weeks, that's when most users of Tinder Wingman report that they're seeing changes. That's about enough time to see, a couple breakdowns and understand the basics. 2 months, that's when users start getting more regular results because, well, frankly, after 2 months, that's when you start forming habits. And then 1 year, that's how long our program is. It's 52 weeks. And if you stick with the program all the way through the year, that's when lifelong changes take place. Bryant, I see your question. I will answer it at the end. Don't worry. I see it. Same with Adam. I see it. All right. So after 2 weeks, what would Tinder Wingman be worth to you if you were getting the same results as these other guys? What about after 2 months? What if you met the perfect girl who made you unconditionally happy? What if you were living a life of abundance surrounded by attractive and intelligent women like Joanne? Hi, Joanne. Because you took the small step to try Tinder Wingman 2.0 completely risk-free. And it is risk-free. What would Tinder Wingman be worth to you then? All right, so here's the elephant in the room. Obviously, it costs money because, this is a business, frankly. I want to do this full time. I don't want to get a 9-to-5 job. I want to just focus on making guys successful on Tinder. So obviously this does take some money. Joanne says bet. It's from a little post on our group today. But anyway, this does, the course costs money. So what does it cost? No bullshit. What does it cost? So Tinder Wingman, you get 52 video breakdowns. Other companies, and I think you guys know what other companies I'm talking about. Other companies charge $40 a month for only videos. That's all you get, nothing else. Only videos, which you lose access to after your membership expires, right? It's a monthly thing. After the membership expires, you lose all the videos. You can't access them. So that works out to be $480 a year if you stay on that program for a year, right? Mastery course, you'll have access to our full Mastery online dating course and Mastery approaching course, webinars and Q&As. Other companies sell courses like this for about $800. That's the upper level. And again, I think you guys know what companies I'm talking about that charge $800 for a course that's just that, nothing else. So tack on $800. Every month we do members only Q&A, group Skype coaching. That's, easily $100 in value, especially if it's a small group. So let's say $1,200 a month or a year, sorry. And expert help, being able to get help from our experts in our mastermind group chat is completely different. There's nothing else like it. Let's consider this similar to having an individual Skype call with a coach. Let's assume you post on our Slack mastermind group just once a week for help. This would be the equivalent of 1 hour Skype coaching every week worth $200. Yes, they are $200 for Skype coaching. All right. And Brian, I'm going to answer your question now. How often do coaches respond? Joanne, I, Cole, Julius, and Theis are on there basically all day. It's just on your phone. So whenever anyone posts, I get a notification and I respond right then and there. In Tinder Wingman 1.0, our old version, you only got to write in once a week. But the new version, you can just respond as much as you want. And at some point, we'll get to it, or other members will get to it. But there's no cap. You can basically post as much as you want. Yeah. A little bit different than how we had it before, if you remember 1.0. 2.0 is much better. That's why it's the upgrade. But anyway, yeah, moving on. If you were to get that much Skype coaching, which you probably wouldn't, I'll be fair, but if you were to get that much Skype coaching, for the purpose of knowing how much this thing is actually worth in value, that would be just under $10,000 worth of Skype calls. And of course, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of bonuses with this live event over the next week. So I'm just not going to factor that price in, frankly. So the total of all that together is like $11,000. And, you already know that I'm not going to charge you that because that would be ridiculous. But I just want you guys to see the sheer value of what is in this thing and the amount of effort and work that we put in. This isn't like other companies where you buy this, we get your money. It's like, oh, great, thanks for the money, goodbye, right? When you are part of Tinder Wingman, you're part of it for life. You get access to everything and you get access to the group chat. So long as Zerby exists, you have access to all of the coaches at Zerby for help when you need it. Now, what if you can get the entire package with the mastery courses and archives, free and included, with access to the mastermind group, free and included, even with access to our expert coaches, completely free and included? That's right. You get the entire Tinder Wingman system for one-time payment of $47.97. Again, that's lifetime access. There's no hidden fees. There's no recurring charges. There's no temporary access. It's a one-time payment. But I know this might be expensive for some of you guys. So, all right, before I go to that, so we actually have a payment plan too to make this super, super affordable. So we'll get to the payment plan later. But frankly, again, there is a catch. Tinder Wingman 2.0, I should say, closes 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, November 1st. If you miss out, you will not be able to join. There are no exceptions for this. Every time we launch, there's always like one straggler that messages me a few days later that wants in. I won't, because it doesn't make it fair to anyone else. All right. If you miss it, you miss it. I want to show myself like this. Okay. Now here's the thing. We do keep our prices low by maintaining a very small team. And by limiting the window of the number of guys we can join in, we allow ourselves to scale and control price. And again, we haven't opened Tinder Wingman for over 11 months. The members that we've had have stayed with us that long. And they're not even on the new version. They're on the old version where they have to pay monthly. So, our members stick with us because the value here is insane. And we don't open Tinder Wingman often. Now, again, I did mention that there are bonuses, and there actually are bonuses for joining tonight. Specific bonuses for joining tonight. All right. So what are those bonuses? Bonus 1, when you join Tinder Wingman, send us one of your Tinder conversations, like send us the whole thing. And we're going to do a video breakdown of your conversation. So you can see what you did right and wrong. Think about it as a 1-hour Skype call, but I'm going to actually make a personalized video just for you that breaks down one of your full Tinder conversations line by line. So you know exactly what you're doing right and exactly what you need to fix. $200 value in that because it's just like a typical Skype call. Bonus number 2, if you join Tinder Wingman 2.0 in the next 48 hours, you're going to get Tinder 10X, which is our full Tinder profile making course, which is normally $30, completely free. It's just going to come with it. Now, if you already bought Tinder 10X in the past and you join, I'm going to refund your Tinder 10X cost. All right, so you'll get money back in the bank if you've already bought it. But yeah, 48 hours, you get that. Flash bonus. So this is if you join in the next 24 hours. So basically after Anthony says, my next paycheck comes in next Friday after November 1st. Email me, mark@zerbiapp.com. Actually, Joanne, you're watching live, contact him specifically. If you have a reason like that, and I know before ahead of time, then, we will probably make an exception. But anyway, flash bonus. So if you join in the next 24 hours, I want to make sure that you get started on the right foot. So what we're going to do is an amazing bonus that we've actually never done this before. And I'm kind of curious what becomes of it. But when you join, you'll get a 30-minute Skype call with one of these Zerby coaches to go over your Tinder profile. So that's concierge service. We'll go through everything. We'll help make it on the spot. 30-minute Skype call. One more bonus. This is our biggest yet. I actually forget what this is. What is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you join Tinder Wingman before midnight tonight, which is actually coming up soon, we'll say thank you by extending that Skype call from 30 minutes to a full hour, and it will be with 2 Zerby coaches. That's pretty awesome. So a 3-person Skype call, going over your Tinder profile and talking about whatever else you want, whatever Tinder problems you have or sticking points, we're going to work through it in our 2-on-1 Skype call. It's going to be 100% private and personal to you. That's only if you join tonight, right? All right, now here's the thing. You might be short on cash. Totally get it. We got your back. So that's why we have a payment plan. So you get full access, lifetime access to Tinder Wingman 2.0 for 6 payments of $97.97. Now, to kind of let you understand what that works out to be every day, if you go to your local market, Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, basically an apple costs, like a Fiji apple or a Pink Lady, which is my favorite, costs just over $1 with tax. So basically for 2 apples a day, you get access to Tinder Wingman 2.0, which is pretty badass. And we all know that famous saying about 2 apples a day. 2 apples a day makes the Tinder girls come out to play. That's actually quite nice. I like that. Joanne, we should make that our cover photo for the group. Joanne says, I'm so personally excited to open Tinder Wingman 2.0. You can sign up right here. By the way, guys, if you don't know who Joanne is, she's one of the co-owners of Zerby. Basically, everything that you see that's graphical or website based, that's her. Like, she made the landing pages. She made all the graphics. She does all of that. She's amazing. Yeah. So anyway, you can sign up now with that link that just appeared in chat that Joanne posted. You don't want to miss out on Tinder Wingman. I want you in there. I want to get to know you guys like I got to know Dan and Malama and Arafat and Joseph, who's watching live, and all my friends in Tinder Wingman. This is amazing. Before, you would lose access to everything. Now you have lifetime access to all of those features, lifetime access to the coaches, lifetime access to the community for a one-time payment. Who wants to deal with subscription fees? I know I don't. All right. So now we got the Q&A. We have a bunch of questions. At the end of the Q&A, I'm going to keep it a little bit brief. I will answer every question, but at the end of it, we're going to be giving away the GoPro. We also have another prize, but I'm going to wait until next week to give that away because we had some stragglers. But yeah, stay until the end so you know who wins the GoPro, and that'll be really fun and exciting. But yeah, I want to do the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, let me see what I can do to make this a little bit better. Boop, boop, boop. All right, yeah, if you guys have any questions, be sure to post them up right now. Let's see. Let's start down here. All right, Matthew says, I just remember a question I had for a while. Some girls link their Instagram or Snapchat to use in their bio. Good question. I know where you're going with this. Is it a good idea to text them with this material to avoid the match process? Okay, so actually, all right. So with the whole Instagram, Snapchat thing, if they have their Instagram linked where you see the photos at the bottom of their profile, then that's totally cool. You can comment on one of those photos. Don't, though, if it's just like she puts her IG handle and then you copy and paste that to go to her Instagram, don't do that. It's too much investment. She's looking to get followers doing that, right? You want to talk to her like a woman. So don't get into that social media stuff. That's the same reason why you never ask for a girl's Instagram or Snapchat. You get their number. If they won't give you their number and only give you their Instagrams, don't even take the Instagram. Just say, hey, never mind. No reason to do that. Snapchat, completely avoid. It doesn't connect with their profile. Don't add someone that you don't. Put it like this. Think about if you have your Facebook profile, like, are you just going to accept random ads from guys who send you Facebook requests? Like, no. So you should not accept random ads or follow random people just because they happen to look somewhat attractive to you. Like, follow people that are important in your life and tell her that, All right. Next question. How many members? About 50. 50 members, Tinder Wingman. Oh, by the way, tonight is actually the first time we've ever launched Tinder Wingman 2.0. It's a brand new system. So I'm actually curious to see who is going to be the first person to join Tinder Wingman 2.0. And actually, I'll probably end up giving them some special gift or prize. So yeah, maybe that'll be you. How often should I use boosts? I love boosts. At first, I was very skeptical of them. I really like them. I think you get one free boost a week. And frankly, if your profile is good, you shouldn't need to use more than that. If you have to use more than one boost a week, it's one of two reasons why. One, your profile sucks and you need to fix it. Or two, you live in an area that doesn't have enough people in it to make it worth using that feature. Oh, Bryant has a question. How often do coaches respond? Okay, yeah, we already said that. You can post as much as you want. We'll get to it when we get to it. John says, so no sunglasses in the profile pic. What about that pic that you commented earlier? So John had a photo of himself where he's wearing sunglasses, but it was a good picture. Don't get me wrong. I would prefer you not wearing sunglasses, but that picture was way better than the one you have now. So it's all about getting better and better and better. But also test. You might find, like, for you specifically, but no one else, for you specifically, you actually get more matches with sunglasses. So you need to test it. Like, use my advice as the foundation and try lots of different things. Joseph says, if I upgrade to 2.0, can I still have the benefits of 1.0 by continuing to pay the monthly fee? Joseph, I will contact you specifically after this and talk to you. What to do if first message is ignored? Move on, frankly. I've tried different things. I've tried to wait and then send a different message. I mean, frankly, put it like this. Give yourself value, man. Would you want to hang out or talk to someone who ignores you? Right? Probably not. Like, I wouldn't. Have you ever been at a party and like there's a guy there and you're like, hey man, how's it going? And he just fucking ignores you and you know he did it on purpose? Like, why would you want to interact with them? Now, sometimes girls are busy and they actually do miss your message. So you can try, but I wouldn't expect anything out of it. Do you use Tinder on your laptop to get likes like David Bond does? No, I don't. David uses an automated program that swipes right on everyone. I'm actually very against that. Although David is a very good friend of mine, I don't personally think that that's an effective way to use Tinder, at least the way that I use it. Now, he travels all over, and he remakes his account every week. He deletes it and remakes it. So his algorithm doesn't matter. But for me, it does, because I stay in one place longer. So I don't want Tinder to see my algorithm as a profile that will accept anything. I only accept the best of the best. And the way I show that to Tinder in the algorithm is I only match with the girls that I actually want to match with, and I actually message the ones that I match with. Halloween is coming up this weekend. Would having Halloween photos after Halloween be appropriate, or should seasonal photos stay seasonal? For Tinder Wingman, will the coaches also coach regular text messaging? When does a textbook come out? Oh, these are great questions, man. These are great questions. All right, let's start with the Halloween. Yeah, I think the Halloween thing, I think seasonal is still seasonal even after a month or two. All right. I think you can get away with it because it's still fresh in people's mind. If it's a really good photo, you can keep it for the year, although seasonal is best to be seasonal. Next question from Bryant. Tinder Wingman, will the coaches also coach regular? It's everything, man. Put it like this. Basically, you're in a group chat on your phone or computer where I'm in Theis, Julius, everything. And if you post a question, if you do like @Mark, hey man, I'm on OkCupid, or hey man, I'm talking to this girl on Instagram DM. What should I, I'm having trouble. What should I do? And you tag me, I'm going to respond to it. So you're just in a group chat with me and other members where you can post and then tag us and we will respond and give you our thoughts. And it's not just about Tinder. It's about texting, OkCupid. I mean, anything. It doesn't even have to be about dating. We're just, think about it like this. We're all in a community. We're all hanging out. We're all together. So long as you're not trolling, whatever. And again, normally we charge people a monthly fee to be in this group chat. We're not doing that now. Now, once you pay the flat fee, you're in. Do you still do photo ops? What's your quote? What's your quote? I don't know what you mean by what's your quote, but yeah, I still do photo ops in the sense that when I hang out with my friends and I go out and I do interesting things, I have a camera. I ask people to take pictures of me and I take pictures of my friends. You did one for, oh, I see what you're saying. Do I still do photo shoots for other people? Okay. Yeah. So I, for a while, was doing Tinder photos where I was basically, Zerby was doing your profile photo. I'm strapped for cash, but I still want to try it out one of these days. Might be worth the investment. It's not open right now because I'm focusing on other things. But if I do open up Tinder photos again, where I'm doing headshots for Tinder for guys, I will send an email out. You'll be the first to know. Matthew says, if she links her IG with pictures under her bio, is it a good idea to text her saying, I'm from Tinder before we match? If she links her IG with the pictures under her bio, is it a good idea to text her saying I'm from Tinder? No. You would never message her on Instagram. Never. You'd message her on Tinder only. If you see photos from Instagram that she put on the bottom of her profile, it shows like a connected Instagram. Like you can comment on that in the message to her on Tinder, but you would never go to Instagram and message her and say, hey, I'm from Tinder, we matched. No, it's not something you would do. I was going to ask about the algorithm. should you delete Tinder and reinstall it if it's been a while since you opened it or swipe constantly? I think so, yeah. So, no one knows the exact Tinder algorithm except the people that work there. But that's actually okay because over the years, there's been enough information that's leaked out that you can kind of understand how it works. So basically, the Tinder algorithm, basically it determines your value, right? And it tries to link up the people who are the most successful on Tinder with the other people who are the most successful on Tinder, right? So if you're swiping on everyone, what you're teaching Tinder is you will take anything. You have no standards. So why would Tinder waste a good match on you, basically match you with a girl who has a very high response rate, who's very selective with their men, who is the most attractive, most men swipe right on her? She's a limited commodity. So Tinder isn't rushing to give you her match because they would rather give you the girls that get the least amount of matches because you'll match with them. You don't give a shit. You'll match with anything. So you'll start seeing when you swipe right on everything, you start going through a lot of trash. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I don't mean trash as in they're bad people. Trash as in they're not the kind of people you're interested in. You see that a lot. But when you only match with the girls and you only swipe with the girls that you actually want and you actually message them and you teach Tinder, hey, I don't just match and then don't respond. Tinder doesn't want that. Tinder wants activity on their platform. So they reward the accounts that have the most activity. They reward the accounts that, are selective. And on top of all that, and here's, I think, the most important part. One sec. So much talking. Yeah, I mean, that's just basically the point. They are going to reward the people that are the most active on their profile and the ones that get the most matches. And on top of that, the ones that have the highest response rate back. So if Tinder sees that you're a guy that women respond to more than 80 to 90% of other guys, then they're more likely to match you with the women who are going to respond back, right? And that are the most attractive. So yeah, delete your Tinder. Now, I have to preface this by saying this is just my opinion. I would urge you to do your own research. There's been statements that have come out of Tinder on somewhat how their algorithm works. There's been leaks. Look it up yourself. Casper says, just tried Coffee Meets Bagel and was wondering if you could ask 2 questions on that. If I could ask 2 questions on that, yes, you can. First, it allows you to put lines under pictures. Do you do that? Secondly, do you fill in all the different questions it asks? All right, so Coffee Meets Bagel is actually my favorite dating app. I wish I could call this Coffee Meets Bagel Wingman 2.0, but that would be a little too long. It's actually a really great app. It's a really great way to meet people. And the people there I find usually are very high quality. Now, as far as how to use it, do you put lines under your pictures? Yeah, I do. And again, you just want to make it just like a hook, line, reel, right? A short, very, very short, concise, maybe has a little bit of a wit, maybe it's a little mini story, make it really quick. I guess OkCupid is like that too. You can make little teeny bites, right? Like an appetizer, a little teeny pun or story, something to get her excited about meeting you, right? Hungry to meet you. Secondly, do you fill in the different questions that it asks? No, I don't do that. And even OkCupid, I don't really, I do a few questions just so it doesn't, it won't show up as like 0% match, but I'll do the bare minimum for that. Yeah. Any other final questions? If not, I'm going to give away the GoPro. I actually got a dice to roll to determine the winner. What's your Instagram DM game like? How many dates have you gone using Instagram? So I'm actually not really big into Instagram. And when guys first started requesting that we do Instagram breakdowns, I wasn't into it because I'm like, well, Instagram's not really a dating app. You make things harder on yourself when they don't need to be. But then I said, maybe I should just do it anyway and learn how this thing works. So actually next week or the week after, the breakdown, the Tinder Wingman 2.0 breakdown is going to be on Tinder or be on Instagram. Theis, I think, has a lot of Instagram dates that he's been on. What's your game like? I guess the game, if I would even use that word, my strategy on Instagram is to be way less datey than I would be on Tinder. Like everything you do on Instagram takes longer because people aren't there to meet you. People aren't there to date. So if you come in to slide into their DM, it's not effective. The effective way is a very long-term strategy where you start by liking each other's posts, leaving comments, over time growing to know each other very lightly, especially with really attractive girls. Don't worry. If you join Tinder Wingman 2.0, you'll see examples of it. And maybe in the future, I will do a product on specifically Instagram dating, I guess the best way to put it. Oh, I don't know if I even showed your comment there. I should have. All right. So any other questions? This came from a Mario board game. I just bought like Mario Monopoly. I'm really excited to play it. I haven't played it yet. I'm really into board games recently. I don't know why. All right. So let me pull up my list of everyone that did the challenge. Let's see here. And we're going to roll and see who wins the GoPro. And I hope to God that you live in the United States to save on shipping costs. All right, let's see. All right. Ready, guys? I don't have a drum roll. That's going to be the drum roll. GoPro time. Yep. And remember, guys, after I give away this GoPro, we're going to end the live event and then go check out Tinder Wingman 2.0. Joanne, do me a favor, post the link. And I didn't talk about the risk-free guarantee. I think it's 14 days. You buy Tinder Wingman. If you don't like it, just let me know in 14 days and I'll refund you in full. No questions asked. No sales bullshit. You get your money back, we're good. So there's no reason for you not to try it. And if you're really not sure, do the payment plan and you can still get your money back if you don't like it after 14 days. I want you guys to get it tonight because I want you guys to get that extra bonus where we do the hour-long Skype call, profile makeover, advice, blah, blah, blah. And on top of it, if you buy it tonight, you get all of the bonuses. It's not like you just get one, like the tonight bonus, and then you get the others. You get absolutely everything. GoPro. Canada, baby. All right. Let's see here. Ready, guys? I'm rolling the dice. Tim, you're 2. Gabriel is 1. Casper is 3. John is 4. Bryant is 5. So that's what we're going with. Oh, and here's the link. Again, after the live stream, after we end, go there, get Tinder Wingman 2.0. I'll see you on the inside. I want to see you guys in there tonight, and I want you guys to get the bonus. So here's the roll. All right, I'm going to put it up to the screen. Gabriel. Gabriel is the winner. Gabriel gets the GoPro. Don't feel bad, guys. Next week, I'm giving away another prize, and everyone here is included in that, except for Gabriel, who won this. But Gabriel, really? Yes, really. You won. You won the GoPro. So, Zerby or Joanne, message Gabriel privately and get his shipping information, and we'll have this out to you on Monday. So enjoy your new GoPro. You're going to need it. Once you join Tinder Wingman 2.0 and you're getting all your new dates, you can go out and, film it and put up YouTube videos and then post them in the group so I can, say, yay, that looks fun. Nice. You need to send it to Brazil. Great. Really happy about that. That's okay. We'll send it. Yes, really. Congrats, Gabriel. That would be cool. Yep, you win, man. We'll send it down to Brazil. And for the other guys, don't worry. You guys have another chance to win something next week. All right, on that note, I'm really happy that you guys were here. 444 roll 2. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Casper says congrats. Sorry you missed out. But that's okay. You can still get all the bonuses for Tinder Wingman. And on that note, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks so much for coming. If you guys have any follow-up questions, be sure to let me know either by commenting on this video. You can message me privately on Facebook. You can do whatever you need to do to get in contact. Anthony says, so proud of you, Gabe. It's amazing. Oh, one more thing. For any of you guys that are on Tinder Wingman 1.0 that are watching live or will watch this in the future, if you're on the old version, you can upgrade to the new version, and I will subtract everything you've paid on Tinder Wingman 1.0 from 2.0. So for most of you guys, it'll be a free upgrade. For some, you might only have to pay a couple bucks. So I want to make sure that all the old members going up to the new version are covered. And everyone here, if we ever do Tinder Wingman 3.0, you guys will be covered. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. Interested to see what the other prize is? You're going to find out soon, guys. You'll find out soon, John. It will be amazing. It will. It's going to be, I think, the best prize that we have. All right, guys. I'm going to end the stream. I know I've said that like 10 times, but this time for real. If you have any questions, reach out. And remember, the link is, well, it's right there. Tinder Wingman. You can see our beautiful, beautiful landing page that Joanne made. Wait. Okay, what's up? You have another question? I love this page. Joanne did an amazing job with this. Check this out. Just gorgeous. Remember, we are closing in 6 days. If 2.0 is a one-time cost, then would we be deducting it from 3.0? There is no Tinder Wingman 3.0. I'm just saying that if we do ever, like in a year or 2 years from now, decide to upgrade or add content or do anything, like, you're going to be covered. We're not going to say to you, okay, well, you got the Apple 6. Now, if you want the Apple 7, you have to pay $1,000. Like, that's not how we work. Look at all these testimonials. Joanne did an amazing job. Yeah, you're right, man. Graphic design skill is on point. So yeah, anyway, guys, I'll see you there. I'm going to end it. I know I've said, oh yeah. And again, like Joanne says, you get lifetime access. It's not, Brian, you get like lifetime access. That's what we're trying to say. All right, guys, that's it. Goodbye.